Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. Welcome to Ignition Time. Thank you so much for making our channel one of the fastest growing channels on the web when it comes to politics, personal finance, stimulus news, unemployment benefits. If you learned something new from this video, please click like, please subscribe, and also please share it with your friends and family, because there's a chance that someone you know could benefit greatly from our content. So please consider sharing our content with friends and family. With all that being said, let me jump right in. I'm going to answer the question, should we be concerned about the deficit? Should we be concerned about the rising debt, especially since we've borrowed, since we've generated a lot of money to pay for all the stimulus? All the money for the stimulus is not coming from our taxes because we don't have enough money. We're simply generating money. We're lowering the interest rates so that we can borrow the money from our future selves. That's basically what's happening. In fact, on your screen, you'll see an article from the Washington Post that reads, the US government debt will nearly equal the size of the entire economy for the first time since World War II. So this is quite significant, and as you know the government has borrowed a ton of money to help us combat this pandemic. So for the first time since World War II, the debt of the US government will equal the size of the entire economy by the end of the year, according to the non-partisan Congressional Budget Office. Now, this is again due to the surge in new spending. We've spent a whole bunch of money, and by the end of 2020, the amount of debt will be, almost the size of our GDP, which is over $20 trillion. Now, this is up, so it's going to become 98% of GDP. Last year, we were at 79% of GDP. Now, I'll tell you how significant this is in terms of the future, because I'll give you some important information, and I definitely want you to watch this video all the way through to the end, because then you'll understand how this deficit ties in to our economic future, ties into all the stimulus spending. Because at the end of the day, this is a very difficult situation. It's an impossible situation. It's something that we haven't seen in the modern era. We do need to help those who need it the most. But on the other hand, and this may not sound politically correct, but on the other hand, the train has already left the station. What I mean by that is we are seeing a K-shaped recovery. And I make these videos so I can educate all my viewers and subscribers. And I don't want anyone to be left behind. Let me just be clear about that. But the fact is, the economic data suggests that this is a K-shaped recovery. The rich have already gotten richer. The stock market has gone to all-time highs, and stocks like Apple are hitting their all-time highs almost on a daily basis at the time I'm recording this. Real estate values have gone up. Interest rates have gone down. On the other hand, many furloughed individuals have lost their jobs permanently. So this is a very unusual dichotomy, an unusual paradox that we find ourselves in. And this, by the way, is one of the reasons that the Republicans don't want to increase the size of the federal debt. And by the way, I find this very interesting. When Joe Biden was specifically asked to comment on this is what he said, and I quote, "The reason why they can't get anything done in the Republican Congress is 20 members of the United States Senate say under no circumstances will they raise the deficit at all." That's what Joe Biden said, and he added sarcastically, "Well, that's wonderful." Now, again, for me, this is not about the red or the blue. For me, it's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican, I'm American. So let's not make this into a partisan argument. Let's just analyze the numbers, and let's look at the data, and the data suggests that essentially we're borrowing too much money. Now, some experts have said that this is a major cause for concern, even though many have said that it's important for us to deal with the here and now. In fact, Brian Riedel, who's a budget expert at the Manhattan Institute, said the historically low interest rate, the result of extraordinary interventions by the Federal Reserve, may help mask the cost of the spending surge. A spike in interest rates over the next decade could send the federal deficit soaring and make it difficult to get federal spending under control. And he also said, while Congress must focus on addressing the pandemic and recession, the projected doubling of the national debt through 2030 should scare taxpayers. So again, this is a cause for concern, and a lot of individuals are very concerned at this moment in time. And Elizabeth Pankody, who's an economic expert at the Employ America group, said the numbers I'm more concerned about are the swaths of families unable to pay rent or put food on the table, and Congress should be working to decrease those instead of the deficit. So this really creates a situation where, on the one hand, we have to help those who need it now, and I want my viewers and subscribers to comment below. I want you to comment below and let me know what you think. Do you think we should be focused primarily on making sure we get through today? Or do you think we should essentially worry about our long-term debt? Because at some point in the future, taxes will go up. At some point in the future, benefits could be cut. At some point in the future, our children and our future generations will have to play catch up with all of this. So I want to know what you think in the comment section below. I want my viewers and subscribers to let me know what you think. Do you think that it's okay to increase the federal debt in the interests of helping those who need it the most now? Now, I have to be honest, at this point, this is less about saving the economy and more about helping those who need help the most. And I say this because that is what the data suggests. I am all in favor of helping those who need it the most. So for the 1% of my viewers who freak out and think that I don't want to help anyone, that's absolutely wrong. This is numbers. The economy is improving, and a lot of people are not only back to their jobs but making more money than they did before, specifically certain types of retailers. But other industries like hotels, like travel, like entertainment, United Airlines and all the major airlines are laying off tons and tons of workers, tens of thousands of workers. So this is a K-shaped recovery. This is an unusual recovery where unfortunately the train has left the station and some people are being left behind. So let me know in the comment section below what you think about this. I would love to know your thoughts about this entire situation. And also please share this video with a friend or family member so that others can also understand this perspective. And I'd like to hear from other viewers and subscribers as well. So let's take a look at all the money that's been spent so far, and let's analyze how the money has been allocated with the money that's been passed through the CARES Act, which was a bipartisan success, if you will. On your screen, you'll see a tweet from Jeff Stein from the Washington Post, and Jeff writes, of course, the GOP tax plan includes hundreds of billions of dollars in things that Democrats are not going to want to reverse. This is, of course, assuming there's a Democratic president and a Democratic Senate. He said, including expansion of the child tax credit and doubling of standard deduction claimed by most filers. It would be politically incorrect and it would be politically dangerous for these things to be rolled back. That's what Jeff Stein from the Washington Post is referring to. Here's another tweet from Jeff that says, another way of thinking about this is the US is expected to spend $38 trillion, that's $38 trillion over the next 10 years. So doing the $1,200 checks 2 times a year would amount to approximately 13% of all federal spending. So what Jeff Stein is suggesting here is if the $1,200 stimulus check was distributed twice a year, that would be approximately 13% of federal spending. In fact, let's analyze federal spending, and you'll see another tweet from Jeff Stein on your screen right here that says the CBO says the $1,200 checks cost the US $272 billion in 2020. And to be honest, that ain't a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. So he wrote, if lawmakers decide to do that twice a year, we're talking about $5 trillion over 10 years. So what Jeff Stein is suggesting is that if $1,200 stimulus checks were sent twice a year for 10 years, that would be $5 trillion. So by comparison, the health plan from Joe Biden, which is the public, and the health plan, which is the public option, would be $750 billion. The GOP 2017 tax cuts, by the way, this resulted in a significant amount of tax cuts for the super wealthy, just so that we are clear. These were valued at $2.5 trillion. This already happened. Let's be clear, this already happened. Okay, the US military budget is $10 trillion. And the housing plan from Bernie Sanders was $2.5 trillion. This gives you a sense of how we are spending money, where the priorities are, and where we fit in, where the $1,200 stimulus checks fit in the grand scheme of things. So at the end of the day, when we look at the debt, when we look at the rising debt, the debt is rising. There is absolutely no question about that. But the $1,200 stimulus checks, even if they were done twice a year, represent $5 trillion over 10 years. And considering that right now it's cheap to borrow money, the borrowing cost of that money is very insignificant. In fact, right now the Democrats are at $2.2 trillion and the Republicans are at $1.3 trillion. They are $900 billion apart. The borrowing cost of $900 billion at right around 1.5% is almost negligible. It's about 15 $15 billion a year. That's the borrowing cost of that money. So there you have it, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. This is my story right here. You check out this video. It's my introductory video on our channel. I have the fortune, the honor, the privilege of living the American dream. Check out our channel. Please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications so you get instant updates from us going forward. Please share our video with friends and family, because there's a chance that someone you know could benefit from this information, because I think all of us need to be informed and educated citizens. Follow us on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is ignition_time. Send us a text message. Get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or time and send that to 70,000. That's 70000, and you can get added to SMS alerts list. Go to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts. And you can get on our email alerts list. You can opt out of the email alerts or the SMS alerts at any time. You can also bookmark our channel, which is youtube.com/ignitiontime. That's youtube.com/ignitiontime. Make sure you bookmark our channel, because when you bookmark our channel, you'll be able to see our videos by just checking out the channel once or twice a week, or a couple of times a day, however often you want, because then you don't have to be dependent on YouTube notifications, because sometimes they get delayed. Please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. That means a lot to me. That means a lot to my team. Once again, my name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. Don't forget, we release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time, most days of the week. Please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Thanks. Bye.